What's the best outdoor basketball game style? I'm Tony. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
Headed for the end zone, break neck speeds. Hand in hand like Gretzky, test me. Sitting on a checkerboard, I'm a chess piece. Marsh pitting in the Met, getting messy, huh? It's not a flex, first round draft pick.
So today we're talking about the different outdoor basketball game styles, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, and so on. And obviously this is going to be an opinion video because it's going to be what I think is best. However, I do think there is an actual answer here besides my opinion. If you disagree, it's all good. Let me know down in the comments what you think. So let's start with a game that I think most, if not all, outdoor basketball players play. It's just a matter of what kind of rules do you use in your region of where you play. And that is a game where everybody is against everybody. There are no teammates. Here in Michigan, we call that 21 because you're trying to score 21 points and the person to do that first wins. So you know, in boxing or MMA, when you spar against an opponent as opposed to actually having an actual competitive fight against them, instead you spar against them. That's how I look at 21. Because in everybody against everybody, just like in sparring, it all depends on what you want to do in terms of your effort and how much you want to get out of it. When you're playing 21, if you want to be completely lazy, you can be. You're allowed to be. You don't have to rebound. You don't have to play defense. If you happen to find the ball in your hand, if you want to be completely lazy, what you would do is like, I'm not really gonna try to score. I'm just gonna stand at the three-point line and throw up three-pointers, and hopefully I make enough quick enough before everybody else so that I can easily win. Or you can really try hard, you can really put in effort, you can really try to make it challenging for you, as opposed to playing one-on-one. In one-on-one, because it's just you and one other person, now you have to play defense, now you have to rebound, now you have to do all the small effort things that are going to allow you to have an advantage against the other person. Also for me, one-on-one is what I kind of consider as the most exposing version of game style of outdoor basketball. Because again, you don't have any teammates. You don't have anyone to sort of hide behind. Meaning your full game is completely out in the open against that person you're playing with. One-on-one is the game where you can read a person's body language to really figure out what kind of basic basketball player are they? What's their game? How do they play? How do they approach stuff? You can read that in them, they can read that in you, and there is no hiding behind any teammates or other people playing 21 with you. So if you really want to learn and understand how to read your opponent, you can really get a handle on how to do that by playing one-on-one. When it comes to 2-on-2, now we're finally getting into teammate territory. But 2-on-2, because it's just you and one other teammate, to me is the most intimate style of gameplay that you can play out here at the park. I say intimate because 2-on-2 is all about your chemistry with your teammate. If you're playing with like your best friend and you know them and they know you, and you guys really know each other's game, and because of that you have great chemistry together, that can create a game playing experience unlike any other that you can experience out here at the park. To the point where even if you lose, even though you have great team chemistry with that one other player, sometimes it doesn't hurt as much, because kind of your mindset is like, okay, we lost, but at least we played well together. And the opposite can be true too. If you show up to a random court and you end up playing 2-on-2 with a random teammate that you don't know and have no chemistry with, that can be very awkward and frustrating, because now you have just one other person that you're supposed to be able to depend upon to play a good cohesive game, but you don't know them, they don't know you, you have no chemistry together, and because of that, that can be incredibly awkward. The process of building that chemistry over time, even within one game in itself, if you can build somewhat of a chemistry together, whether you realize it or not in the moment or even afterwards, there's kind of an intimacy there, right? That you're building, that you're creating. And if you're able to do it when and if that happens, there is a gratification there, a satisfaction there that doesn't take place in any other form of basketball. Now let's talk about 3-on-3. To me, 3-on-3 is my favorite game style of outdoor park basketball. I say that because now you have 6 players on the court, half-court basketball. With 6 players, that allows you the, in my opinion, the best spacing on the court. Not only that, but because now you have a team of 3, you're constantly in a triangle at all times. When you're in a triangle at all times, 6 players on the court, half court, to me that's perfect spacing on the court and gives you the perfect angles in that positioning on the court at that time. That positioning for me, 6 players, triangle, all times on the court, to me is the perfect formula for half-court outdoor basketball. 3-on-3 is kind of engineered. It's made perfectly for offense in the sense that if you have 2 teammates that really know what they're doing, they really understand spacing and angles, then you are in for the ultimate offensive basketball outdoor half-court experience. But even if your teammates don't really understand spacing and angles, you as the more experienced, smarter, more serious basketball player can maneuver them into spots and positions on the court where they can do what you need them to do, and they can also do what they need to do. You can create spacing and angles for them. Even if they don't know what they're doing, you can create those things for them in a way that works out best for your team. Because of that, because of the ease of positioning and spacing and angles that you're allowed to create offensively, to me, outdoor 3-on-3 half-court basketball is the ultimate form of basketball. Now, if 3-on-3 is naturally suited best for offense, for me, 4-on-4 is naturally suited best for defense, because now you have 8 players on the court, 4 players per team. Because you have 4 players per team, now you are perpetually in some kind of a square, in some kind of a box formation. Being in a box formation as opposed to being in a triangle formation means less spacing on the court, but more angles. One of the things that means is that with that also comes the possibility for mistakes to be made. One of the reasons for that is because now you have 8 players on the court. The more players you add to the court, the more the likelihood is that you're going to have more and more casual players on the court. The more casual a player is, the more likely that they're not going to understand spacing and angles and how to move on the basketball court without the ball. If one of those players is your teammate, that can be very frustrating because their ignorance creates problems for you and you trying to run your offense, and maybe even them playing defense. Now, if you're able to teach them, show them, help them to understand what to do and what's going on, that can become very satisfying. But if that player that doesn't really understand is on the opposite team, is one of your competitors, now you can use that ignorance against them. It's much easier in that formation for you as a player who understands spacing and angles hopefully better than anybody else on the court. It's easier for you to now kind of play like a free safety defensively, especially if the person you're defending against is that ignorant player who doesn't really understand what they're doing in a 4-on-4 setting. That's why I say 4-on-4 is more engineered towards playing defense, being defensively effective, because if you're able to exploit the misunderstandings of the other team, how to space the floor, how to play angles correctly 4-on-4, you can defend beautifully against that. If you find yourself kind of being swept up in the chaos of having that many players in a half-court setting, if that becomes problematic for you, try to focus defensively and understand where the holes in the offense you're playing against, you're defending against, are. Now, when we're talking 5-on-5, it's my understanding that 5-on-5 can differ wildly throughout the basketball world, because it all depends how your local court is in terms of how busy is it, how packed is it. Do the players that play out here, are they actual serious basketball players, or are they more casual? In my area, you can find 5-on-5 basketball on a semi-regular basis if you know where to find it. But for the most part, it's rare to play 5-on-5 full court basketball, which for the most part is fine with me, because in my experience in my area, when 5-on-5 basketball happens full court, it pretty much means general chaos.
Prepare, little town. Prepare for the greatest supervillain you have ever seen, Professor Chaos!
That's because now you have 10 players on the court, much more higher likelihood that a lot of those players are going to be casual players. Casual players mean that they don't really know what they're doing. They don't really want to even play basketball. What they want to do is to imitate what they think the NBA is. So for them, that means fast breaking, forcing fast breaks every possession, every time, regardless of the possession. And for me as a basketball purist, I want to walk the ball down the court. I want to set up the offense from reading the defense and then executing the best strategic offensive game plan from there. So for me, 5-on-5 outdoor random player basketball usually just means it's a cardio day. That means you're just gonna be running and trying to enjoy the experience to the best of your ability. You can't take it too seriously because most of the players you're playing with don't understand how to slow it down and play real strategic basketball, nor do they want to. So those are the different game styles of outdoor basketball and which one I think is the best. To me, they all have their strengths and their weaknesses, and it's all a matter of like what your goal is, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to get better at, what you prefer. To put the experience together the best, to have the best experience of all basketball worlds, for me is 3-on-3 half-court outdoor basketball. So thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, if you liked it, if you like the content of it, if you like how it's different than other basketball videos and other basketball channels on YouTube, great. Please subscribe to this channel. That's the best way you can support this channel, is to subscribe to it. It's small, it's obscure, it's unlike any other basketball channel on YouTube. If you like that, if you want to support, great, please subscribe to the channel. And for those who have, thank you very much. Also, like, share, comment, hit that notification bell. When you hit that bell button, now you're notified of every single video every time they go live on this channel. So thank you guys again. See you guys next week.
I can move like a ghost with the stutter step. I ain't seen nobody do it better yet. My team over your team, nah, better yet. My city over your city, you can tell them that. You can stand right next to the coach and you will never get the ball or a game plan. When it's all said and done, we can shake hands. I'll be in the locker room, champagne dance. Now we on the team playing like, hey man, what time are we doing the parade stand? Gotta put the trophy up high, both hands. We ain't get it overnight, it's a slow dance.